China has released a new satellite image of a large floating object possibly linked to the missing Malaysia Airlines plane. It's a possible breakthrough on day 15 for the search of MH370. Malaysia's acting transport minister interrupted his daily media briefing to break the news.
The news that I just received is that the Chinese ambassador received satellite image of floating objects in the southern corridor, and they will be sending ships to verify.
The object measures 22.5 meters long and 13 meters wide. The snapshot was captured 5 days ago on 18th March, and it was taken 120 kilometers from where two pieces of debris were captured on a different satellite image by Australia. The Australian picture on the right, taken on 16th March, showed a large piece of debris about 24 meters long. As a guide, the wingspan and the entire length of MH370, a Boeing 777, is around 60 meters long. Channel News Asia's Christine Lim has the latest on the Chinese satellite image.
It's positioned about 120 kilometers west of where Australia found suspected debris earlier on. An analysis was done on Chinese satellite image captured on the 18th of March around 12 noon. And it found that the object is about 22 meters long and 13 meters wide. Further information is still being verified right now. We are waiting to get more information from the Chinese government. Now we know China has deployed 21 satellites, 3 military aircraft, as well as 7 vessels to join in the search.
British paper The Telegraph released what it claims to be the transcript of the last 54 minutes of communication from the cockpit of flight MH370. Aviation analysts say the exchange is perfectly routine, and Malaysian officials were tight-lipped on the transcript. Channel News Asia's Sumisha Naidu has more from the news conference.
Now, they stopped short of saying that it was not, it was completely fabricated or false. They just said it was inaccurate and that nothing abnormal was found in the transcript. We also know that during this press conference, the transport minister raised the possibility that the tropical cyclone Julian may be making its way to the southern corridor. It has already hit Christmas Island, and the transport minister made it a point to thank all the men and women who've put themselves in, who will be putting themselves in harm's way by continuing the search in the southern corridor. He also told us that the future of the search depends on other countries and how much they're willing to contribute and how much information and assets they're willing to put up. But he did say that as long as there's hope, Malaysia won't give up.
Planes scoured waters off Perth for signs of debris without success for a third straight day, and they were joined by Chinese jets.
As the search intensifies, the Royal Australian Air Force Base north of Perth is about to get just a little bit busier, with confirmation Chinese and Japanese aircraft will coordinate their efforts from here. Authorities say the involvement of the international crews will be crucial to the ongoing efforts.
We welcome these additional assets, including the Chinese aircraft. They have a capability that will be important also to the search. I'm told that they are a good platform for visual observations, and as I mentioned earlier, it is more likely that a pair of eyes are going to identify something floating in the ocean than much of the technical equipment that's on board the aircraft.
A looming cold front approaching the area is expected to slow down search operations.
Weather conditions were less than ideal again today, as we've seen on the last few days as part of the search. Essentially had a thick layer of cloud from about 2,500 feet down to as low as 500 feet in the search area. We had some isolated showers and sea fog down to the surface, essentially reducing our visibility as well.
Mr Truss says for the grief-stricken families and the future of the entire aviation industry, the search must go on.
It is a very remote area, but we intend to continue the search until we're absolutely satisfied that further searching would be futile, and that day is not in sight.
Jack Board, Channel News Asia, Perth.
Malaysia's acting transport minister acknowledged that there were some tense scenes at a briefing in Beijing for relatives of passengers on board the missing plane, and he has ordered authorities to investigate.
Malaysian government attached the highest priority in search and rescue and to find the aircraft and passengers.
At the Lido Hotel, high-level Malaysian officials gave a briefing of mostly technical details on a search for MH370.
And one civil jet was involved.
They declined to take questions, sparking outrage.
You can't go. You can't leave here. Listen up. We are here waiting for you 14 days. We want to know what happened, what the reality is. We not here only listen to you. We want to ask you.
Some relatives rushed towards officials as they were leaving, but police stepped in.
我们是团结的，我们就坐在这儿，我们就安安静静等着他们，让他们给我们一个交代，行吗？
Representatives for the families later read out a letter accusing the Malaysian government of hiding information and fooling the world.
他呢，是吧？就这么也说没有征求我们的意见，也没有尊重我们的这个尊重我们，就这么自己单方面的，就自己撤场了，说他很不礼貌了，很不礼貌。
In Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia's envoy to China was swamped by reporters. Many had questions about Chinese passengers' families displaced from a resort due to the Malaysian Grand Prix.
They are okay. They are well taken care of. I think they are fully understood and they accepted it.
Formula One technicians have booked out the hotel well ahead of next weekend's race. But the Malaysian government says the relatives of the missing passengers will be shifted to another hotel. As she visits China, U.S. First Lady Michelle Obama has assured the country that the U.S. offers its utmost support for the hunt of the missing MAS plane.
As my husband has said, the United States is offering as many resources as possible to assist in the search. And please know that we are keeping all of the families and loved ones of those on this flight in our thoughts and in our prayers at this very difficult time.
Mrs. Obama was speaking at Peking University on the second day of her visit to Beijing. She later toured